Hi, welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles Festival in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. I'm Carolyn McDonald and I'm here with Wendy Shue and we're going to talk about her film Till It Blooms. Let's take a look at a clip. Wendy, welcome, welcome. It's so nice to talk to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, really great to talk to you. So tell us, what was your inspiration for Till It Blooms? Tell us about where this story came from.
Yeah, this story is very much rooted in my relationship with my family, my relationship with my father, and my father's relationship with his. Mm-hmm. My grandfather passed away in 2013. So it was a lot of the story, a lot of the emotions of the story is totally true. I saw my dad get on the stage to make his funeral speech and to make his eulogy, and he just broke down crying, and I had never seen my dad cry. And so I sort of started from there, and I dug into it a little bit, how we process emotion together collectively as an Asian family, and how he does as sort of like the stern father figure.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And what was your inspiration to specifically use the metaphor that you did? I don't know if you want to spoiler alert for the film, but you used this very vibrant metaphor for grief, and talk about that.
Yeah, I guess the concept of grief flowers really came from, I was scouring and looking at elements that we have at the funeral, and I think pretty much across most cultures, flowers are used in funerals to kind of, it's a metaphor for the end of life, of beauty, and kind of like peace looking forward. And so I took that visual element and I guess, kind of morphed it into something that's a little bit more active, like it's grief really kind of choking on your throat, telling you to let it out.
And being engulfed and again, blooming, is a really interesting metaphor. Something I was really interesting when I was watching the film was the actor's expression in the process. Can you talk a little bit about that? Is like how this evolved as this thing was occurring. Him, he was very definitively going through an emotional arc. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I think the general concept of this character's evolution is from suppression to release, and I guess, the word bloom. So in the beginning, it was very much a struggle between him and the grief plant, and so he was, trying to suppress it. He was trying to kind of hide it from everyone. He's escaping, and eventually he has to hit a point where he realizes that he has to come to terms with how he feels, and he has to be okay talking about his emotions. He has to be okay releasing those feelings, that it's not healthy to suppress them forever. There was another layer, actually, when I was working with the actor Tom Troy. I think the beauty of working with multiple people on a film set is we started talking about our relationship with our family, and he talked to me about his relationship with his father. And so we worked in kind of a layer of complexity where there's this kind of struggle between the father figure and himself where, he was never able to please his father. And now that he's gone, it's like a release of seeking that approval, knowing that you won't ever get it anymore, and being okay with that and just love him for who he is.
Yeah, very interesting role for an actor, I thought. Very, very interesting role. It was very cool to see how he did take that journey. I was really cognizant of him taking that journey emotionally and processing, as you say. So more about the production, the blooming. How did you work that? You know, how did you physically do that as a director? You know.
I'm a big fan of practical effects, and I think I looked at a lot of kind of fine arts inspiration of the idea of repetition. So I always really wanted to, I was talking to VFX artists, and we were discussing making that movement more conveniently shown through visual effects, but then it didn't feel as organic, and also this is like incredibly small budget. So we thought that we would just build things practically. So the big blooming scene, we bought a ghillie suit online. So myself, my art director, and I kind of just, we just like put flowers on it. We took multiple trips to Michael's and sort of get that like sort of prop together. And I work with the makeup artist to do the finishing touches together.
How large was your crew?
It was 15. It was like 15 people, so it was definitely a small crew, but it made things very intimate. We're all very passionate. We were all like students at the time, so it was a great experience.
And when and where did you shoot the film? How long did it take you to shoot?
It took 3 days, actually 2.5 days. We were able to squeeze it down a little bit more. Most of it took place inside a house that we rented out for the weekend. We had gone to a florist and kind of pieced together other people's backyards for the external scene, and none of the things were in the same place except for the house.
It was all in different locations. Really, really cool. And where was it shot? Was it shot here in LA?
It was shot here in LA.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a
shot
house in Burbank.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Very, very cool. And so what else are you working on now? What are your other, can you tell us more about yourself as a filmmaker, and what any other upcoming projects and themes you may be working on?
I'm continuing to kind of look inwards for material for inspiration. I'm currently writing a short about my brother. He is 6 years younger than me, and he's really gone through a lot since the pandemic. So that's kind of still in the working, and I'm pitching a pilot for a limited series. I'm a big fan of millennial fiction, so it's going to be about a young woman in her early 20s, and it touches on the world of financial domination.
Wow, that's very interesting. Very, very interesting. So thank you so much for being here with us today to talk about your film. I really enjoyed it, and I think audiences will definitely enjoy it as well. And where can people follow you your new projects?
Probably Instagram.
Okay.
It's Wendy Shu 0.0.
Okay. All right. Wendy Shu 0.0. Okay, Wendy Shu. All right. Thanks a lot,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.